like, comment, subscribe, just like that. Boom. Wait a minute, just like that. A-Dubb, you ready? Wait a minute.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Allan Wade, back again with another awesome video, and today we are on the gorgeous island of St. John's, and we're celebrating my 41st birthday tomorrow. But today we're going to do a tutorial on digitizing. We're going to be using the program Chroma Luxe that I use to digitize, and we're going to do a simple design. I'm going to show you guys how to work this. I'm not going to go too in depth with it. I'm just going to go like overall over some basic functions with you guys in case this is a software that you guys would like to purchase, and so you guys can start digitizing your designs to embroider out on whatever machines you have, whether it be the Brother SE600 or the P800 or a commercial embroidery machine. You just got to export the file as the file type that specific embroidery machine takes. Like the when you save as .pes if you're using a Brother machine, or save as .dst if you're using a commercial Ricoma machine like the ones that you see in the videos. Alright, so let's jump straight into the software, and I'll give you guys some basic functions, and we'll jump into the basic design that we're doing. Alright, and the reason why I'm doing a basic design is because if you can grasp the concept of these few tools that I'm showing you guys, then you can pretty much design anything you want if you build off of that. Alright, so let's jump into this digitizing. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Thank you. We are in the Chroma Luxe software. This is what the interface looks like. Let me just close the desktop from behind, the browser from behind, so you guys can grasp the concept of what we're doing. Okay, the first thing in Chroma is you want to start a new right here in the corner, create new document. So you click on that, and that opens up a blank canvas, right? So what we're doing in digitizing software is we're actually tracing images. All right, so you go ahead over, this is like the universal thing for all pictures. You go ahead over and you open up a backdrop. All right, click on it, navigate to where you saved your image. In this case, I saved mine on desktop. We're just gonna desktop, and we're just gonna click on the flower. All right, so this is what we're digitizing. Something simple, something easy, so you guys can grasp the concept of these basic tools. Alright, so these are the digitizing tools right down here that you pretty much use. This is the actual, if you hover over to tell you what it is, it's a run stitch, and what it does is it's like a single stitch. Alright, so I'm just clicking, drag, click, and if I hold my hand on shift, actually, sorry, I'm pressing delete right now. If I hold my hand on command, you see that instead of square, it turns into a circle, right? Which makes it curve. If I release the command and then I drag click, now it's square, which means that you get sharp edges. Alright, now this is a run stitch. This run stitch is like a single stitch. Alright, so let me delete all that. Alright, it's like a single stitch. The next one right here, if I hover over it, is called a satin stitch. You guys know what a satin stitch is, right? So if I click, 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 straight satin stitches. If I hold the command once again, curve, and then if I hit enter, right? Hold on, I think I have to, yeah, okay, so you have to connect the satin stitches. Alright, so boom, 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 satin stitch. Alright, well, you get the idea. Alright, I don't really use the satin stitch too much. What I use most is the run stitch, and I use this classic satin stitch, and I use a steel stitch, and I use a complex fill tool. Alright, I don't hardly ever use this tool right here. So alright, let me show you what the classic satin stitch does. So say for example, which you would never do, because you want your satin stitches to you got to go side by side is what I'm trying to say. So so let me give you an example. So click over here, click right next to it, click, click. This is what creates a satin stitch. Alright, click, 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 enter, Alright. Alright. Let me do that over again. Alright. Satin stitch. You want to go click, click, and then you go next to it. So this right here, classic satin stitch. Let me demonstrate the classic satin stitch. You want to kind of like pay attention to the lines on the satin stitch. See what I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Click right here, all right. Then you go click right next to it. See this little line right here? Whenever you get a line right here, you want to click above, all right. Click above, right. Then above, right. Kind of creating a little bridge. And you can see the bridge being built. Now if I hit the command, same deal. See how it curves? Above. I'm still going above, right? Building a little bridge. See the little lines, right? Now when I want to stop, I just go right here and I just press enter. And now we have a classic satin stitch, alright? And the satin stitch, as you guys know, is just like the lines going side by side, okay? So there's two tools. We went over the run stitch, which let me demonstrate to you once again. Boom, 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 because I never stopped it. Hit enter, and there's a run stitch, a single stitch. All right, click right here, highlight it, delete. All right, now steel stitch. Steel stitch is like just a regular stitch. So say for example, this little outline right here, I would just go boom. I got my hand on command, my finger on command, so it's making it a circle. Rounded edge, right? So we got the circles, rounded edge. I think I'm going too fast, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm talking about if you can rewind, right? So boom, I hit enter, and now there you go. That's a steel stitch. It's kind of like the same thing like doing a satin stitch, except you don't have to go side by side. I like to do side by side because it kind of gives you more accuracy when you're going around turns and stuff like that. But the steel stitch can do the same thing. Alright, to change colors, like say if I have this right here and I want to change colors of that outline, I would go right here, click the selection tool, right? And the selection tool just, whatever you did last, when you click on the selection tool is going to highlight that thing. Alright, so I would come down here and pick a color, and I would just double click on the color, and it'll change it, that satin stitch, to that steel stitch to that specific color. Alright, if I need more colors, I would just single click on it and it will bring up a palette, and down here you can pick on all the different types of options depending on what type of thread you're using and stuff like that. It will bring up the color selections for those specific colors that manufacturer sells. Alright, so and the last but not least is this complex fill tool, right? Complex fill, complex fills create like a whole you have to kind of like create a whole shape and connect it at the end. So let me give you for example, again using the same commands, you're gonna click and not hold command in order to create a shape, a straight line, or you're gonna click and hold command to create a curved line. So in this case right here, this right here is not a straight line, so I'm just gonna click, do the first click, and now I'm gonna press command, and I'm gonna go here. So this next one is curved here, and I'm going around the edge, right? Going around the edge right here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Going around the edge, going around the edge, around the edge, around the edge, and then I come right here. I release the command, create a straight line, right? Square. Hold down the command again because it's curved. Boom, 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 and release everything. Press enter. And there you go. You got the first thing. Right. If I click right here, this right here, if you hover over it, it says realistic. It creates like a realistic view of stuff. So click it, and you can see our actual stitches. Unclick it, and you can see just the color. And again, like I said, if you go over here, click the selection tool, it highlights the last thing that you did, and you can go ahead and change the colors of that specific thing. All right. Alright, so let me just delete that real fast and go over some basic rules of digitizing, right? When you're digitizing, you have options, you have decisions you have to make. And those decisions are basically, where do I want to start this design first? And you have to like do it in a way that makes sense. Where do I want this design to start digitizing first? what makes sense, what goes on top and what goes at the bottom. So looking at this image right here, to me it would seem like these petals would go first, because it seems like the circle right here overlaps the petals, right? It goes over top of the petals. So I would make, in this case, I would strategically make one petal, right? And after you've made one petal, you've pretty much made them all, because they're all like symmetrical, they're all the same size. So I would go ahead and create one petal using the complex fill tool, or you can pretty much use, because in this software you can pretty much turn anything, you can convert anything into anything, and I'll show you guys what I mean in a little while. Alright, so I'm just gonna do the complex fill tool again. It's gonna just say this is a little quick review. So I'm zooming in. I'm on my Mac. I'm just gonna 2 fingers. I'm zooming in, and over here, this button right here, navigator, I can just position it to where I want it to be after I zoomed in. Alright, so now I can get a closer look at what I'm doing. Alright, now because I know that this is going to overlap, I don't want to go exactly on the edge. I want to go kind of inside a little bit, because if I go on the edge right here, when the image goes to embroider, there might be a little gap. So I want to go a little bit on the inside. Alright, that's what you do. So inside. Alright, like I said, square. Hold my hand on command. Now we're creating the curve. Alright, so I'm just gonna click, drag, holding down the command the entire time. Click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. I should say click, release. Well, not release, because I'm holding the command button down the entire time. Alright, click, click, holding the command button the entire time, and just dragging and clicking and releasing on the mouse pad. Alright, so I'm gonna release right now, because, well, I'm gonna click once right here, and I'm gonna bring it right here. I'm gonna release to create a straight line. Click, put my finger back on the command key to make now a rounded edge again. Click, 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 release everything, press enter. Alright, here's my first petal. And like I said, once you created one petal, you created them all. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to hit the selection tool, and I'm going to just change the color of that. It's selected. Boom. Alright, so now I just double click on here, and I go, or I can do it over here. If you click right here, you can see the items that you've created already, which is this one complex fill. Alright, so I created that already. That is this. This is when you click on it, you see it. Click, and it highlights the actual thing. Alright, so that's where the design is going to start off. Another thing I want to show you guys is, if you go over here, you can actually reshape that tool. This right here is where it starts. So your machine is going to start embroidering right where this yellow is, and then it's going to stop right where this is. Alright, so in this case, I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to bring the stop point to down here, so that the jump stitch is going to start right here. It's going to embroider, 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 and stop right here. Then it's going to jump from here to here. Alright, instead of jumping from here to here. Alright, alright, and this right here symbolizes that the stitch is going to go from side to side, or I can make it go up and down. Alright, just press apply. Every time you make a change, you want to hit apply. Alright, so I'm going to make this go up and down. Alright, because this is kind of going side to side. I kind of want this to go wherever way this is starting, just kind of sideways. So I kind of want to keep this opposite from it. Alright, and I'm going to show you why in a second if I'm doing this right. Give me a second. So if I go up here, I'm kind of skipping all around, but you guys will see. If I go up here, this is like the real life drawing. You could like automate it and see how it's going to digitize. Now you see the animation of how this thing is going to digitize, how the sewing machine is going to act. Alright, boom. Now it should go all the way to the end. Nope, see how it started? It went halfway and then it went to the other side. That's what we want to avoid. We want to avoid that, because then when it meets in the middle, it could potentially leave a gap in that middle. Alright, so how do we fix that? Let's see, let's play around with it. Come over here and we're going to put this side by side. Alright, we're going to see if that gets rid of that. Alright, and actually it won't, but let me see. Let's just play around with it. Alright, halfway down, halfway down. Alright, that got rid of it. Now it embroiders all the way. So now we won't have any going to the other side and meeting. Alright, so we got rid of that. Alright, how do we get rid of that? What we did was we changed the start and stop points, and then we played around with the stitch direction to get rid of that. Alright, these are this what I'm showing you guys is all stuff that took me a while to learn. Like, from me learning how to digitize and me learning that specific trick that I taught you guys right there was literally like 5 or 6 years, and I'm just showing you guys this like off the bat. Alright, so rewind this video if you need to. Of course it's going to be different in different softwares, but I'm showing you guys how to use Chroma Luxe right now. Alright, because this is the digitizing program that I use. Alright, so now, alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to duplicate this right here. So complex fill, click on that, you can copy, and click on it again. What am I doing? Click on it again, and you can, wait, no, not here. Alright, click on the actual thing, and copy, and paste. Alright, now I created another one right on top of it. Alright, so I'm gonna undo that. But just so you can see, it's 2 of them right there. It's right on top of it. But I'm gonna undo that and do it a different way. Let me delete that. Now you see it deleted it and put one right there. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. I'm gonna duplicate. Then I'm gonna move my arrow key to right here. I'm going to click on it, and then I placed it right where I want it to go. Alright, so now obviously you want to rotate this, so you're going to go over here, and it's going to, like I said, select the last thing you created, right? And then you're just going to position and rotate. Rotate, 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 rotate. Position, position, position. Alright, rotate. You want to zoom in a little bit so we can see where the jump stitch is. Alright, so you guys, once you've created this one, you pretty much created all the leaves for that specific part of the design. Alright, I got this in right here, and I can already look at them and tell that they're slightly different, but it's okay. Alright, for the sake of the tutorial, it's okay. Alright, so I'm going to quickly just do the rest of them. Alright, like you see, this one was in more than this one, but if you want to refine it, you can go ahead and click that, and you can like bring that in, the points, right? You bring the points in, bring that to the side for a second, bring the points in to create that overlap, because that overlap is very important, because if you don't have it, you'll end up having gaps. You can bring this part right here in so the leaves are not too close together, right? You can change the angle. Alright, different stuff that you can do. Again, like I said, this stuff took me years to learn, and I'm giving you guys a crash course on stuff that took me years to figure out. So let me get a thumbs up, and let me get a subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I appreciate it. Alright, so now that I created 2, I can just go ahead and highlight 2. Wrong tool. You gotta have the right tool selected to do the different commands. So select the arrow tool, boom, duplicate, boom, arrow tool, highlight both of them if I can. I know I can. Rotate, put them in the right position, This might not even work, as a matter of fact, but we'll see if we can get it as close as possible, and then we will position them individually. Alright, that's cool for the sake of the video. You can make them perfect. You can make it perfect when you're doing it on your own. Alright, I'm gonna shift, as a matter of fact, command to highlight both of them, duplicate over here, selection tool, highlight both, rotate, bring them in. That's not gonna work, so let's drag one, position it, rotate that one. Alright, so now you guys can begin to understand why digitizing is important, and the complexity of actual digitizing. You guys can just start to see it and start to understand it. Alright, so now we got our basic flower pretty much done. Only thing that's missing is the inside and the outline of the inside. So let me show you a quick way to do that. Alright, there's two ways. We can use a complex fill tool, and we can create a circle, right? Using the complex fill tool, or we can create an actual circle using a shape tool and digitize that circle. I'm going to show you guys several different ways. Alright, so click here, and you can just hold command down. Wait, no, so I didn't. Click here, and you want to click the ellipse tool, the circle tool. Hold command to maintain proportions to make sure it's the same size. Got an iguana over there, crazy, climbing through the grass. Alright, so you kind of made that circle right there. Change the color so we can see it. Alright, so you take that circle and you position it over here, and you just scale it down to the size that you need. This is actually the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. Scale it down to the size that you need. Alright. Select that circle. Easier way to select is right here. Select that. It's the artwork. This is not the actual thing. Alright, position it. And now you can double click, convert to complex fill. Alright, now what's this going to do? This is going to convert it to an actual stitch, because this artwork right here is not actual in embroidery. I just created a random circle. And how can I explain this? When you create a circle, you created an object, but you didn't create like an object that's digitized. You have to use the actual tools that I showed you earlier to create something that's digitized. Alright, but the art section right here, like the circle and the square and the rectangle, is not actual like stitches and stuff like that. I really can't explain it, but you have to convert it into something, into stitches. It's really complicated to explain. Alright, so I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna convert it into a complex fill tool, and it's gonna fill in the middle and it's gonna turn it into a stitch. See that? Now it filled in the middle, turn it into a stitch. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and select the color that's closest to it, or like I said, you can go over here, or you can go anywhere and you can just click and you can find the color, and when you find the color, it'll just turn that color into whatever that is, and then there you go. Alright, I'm going to go back because I like the other color better, just lighter color, whatever. Alright, so there you go. Alright, so now what about the outline that's around this little circle? What about the outline? Alright, so you click on that circle, and then you copy, and then you paste. So now put the circle under the circle right here, right? And then you're gonna take this one and you're gonna click on it, and you're gonna convert it to a steel. Alright, and you see the steel outside of it, but you're gonna change the color to whatever color you want to change it to. Alright, see that? And just that easy, we created something cool, like a flower effect, right? Now let's take this right here. This is the artwork. I selected the artwork by just clicking on the backdrop tool, and I'm just going to press delete. And there's what we created right there. Now I'm going to take it a step further, because this is basic, you know, this is basic, this is regular. Of course there's some settings that you guys can change in it, which you can increase the density, which means you make it more stitches, make it more full. In order to increase the density, you have to lower the number. So just go down here and you type in a lower number like 32, apply. See how that got thicker? This got thicker right here, and the rest of them are thin. You want to do that for each one of them. Alright? Just a little tip. Let me undo that real fast because I'm just doing a tutorial for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to click. I'm going to copy. Let me see if this, I'm not even sure if it's going to work. I'm going to click. I'm going to paste. And I'm going to rotate the ones that I just made. Alright? Rotate. I'm going to scale them up a little bit. Alright? On each side. Alright? I'm going to send them all to the back. I'm holding and I'm clicking them from up here. Oh, I don't think that worked. But while they're all selected, I'm just going to change the color. Double click, change the color of all of them, and I'm going to send them to the back right here. See, move to back. Alright, now they're all underneath, but only problem is I have gaps right here between this and that, so I can actually move them in individually. Alright, and then make them larger, so you know you can keep the same effect. Move them in individually, make them larger. Right? So you'll learn how to do this stuff on your own once you start playing around with digitizing software and stuff like that. Alright, you'll learn the tips, the tricks that you want to do and stuff that works best for you and your digitizing style. Alright, but this right here, I'm going to tell you right now, if you do this right here, this specific method with the and embroider this on the SE600, you're going to have problems, and I'll tell you why. It's because you got too many colors on top of each other. So like for example, it's going to embroider these what are these, yellowish flowers right here, then you're going to go on top of it with this color right here, and the SE600 is not stable enough to handle all those things on top of each other. So what I would do in this case is zoom out a little bit, select everything, hold click on it, come down here, and how do you want to simplify it? Let me see what that does. I think it's simplify it, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove the overlapping shapes. Simplify. Let me see what that does. Select one. No, that didn't do it. Command Z to undo. So let me see what happens. Let me see something, guys. Give me a second. Weld to put them all together. Okay, see what I did was I selected individual ones, clicked on that, command click, alright. So I have three things selected. I'm looking at here as I click on the side. So I got one selected, two selected, three selected. Alright, I release them, double click, go down here, and remove overlaps. And watch what just happened. If I click on this and bring it out, as a matter of fact, it didn't do it. What it should be doing right now is cutting the overlaps out of this right here, but it's not doing it, which I don't know why. Remove overlap. Bring it in a little bit. It's actually not doing it. Alright, but there's a way to do it, and I just wanted to create a quick video with you guys to show you guys some digitizing techniques and some tools. It's not cooperating right now, but it is a very intuitive software, even though sometimes if I weld it, it's going to change the same color. It's going to attach everything and change the same color. Let me undo that. But yeah, sometimes it's weird. There's a way to do this. I'm just obviously not doing it right, and I've used this before. but it just is not meant to work. So what I would do in this case, if it didn't want to do it manually, is I would come over here and I would just move these in a little bit. I would double click on here, add a point, and just move it in a little bit to kind of like remove some of the overlaps, and do that for each individual one. Alright, actually what you could do is you do it for one. If you do it for one, you do it for all. You can just, sorry, my camera battery died, so now I'm just going off the audio for the from the actual computer. So like I said, if you did it for one, you can do it for all. So I would do it for this one, right? And then I would delete all the other ones and use this one as the master one, because this is getting rid of those overlaps that we want to avoid, because the overlaps cause the machine to jump. But when you get rid of the overlaps, you don't want to totally get rid of the overlaps. You kind of want to have a small overlap so that you don't leave any gaps in your design. Alright, if that makes sense to you guys. Alright, so boom, you just get rid of a little bit more overlaps. Alright, so now this is pretty much, you want to end up with something like this. Delete that. You want to end up with something like this. Alright, and then when you hit apply, you see in the background it shrunk. Alright, so when you get rid of that overlap, you would, oh look, this one did cut out. This one had cut out. So let me try something. Let me see something real fast. Boom. And go here. Boom. Boom. Okay, so maybe remove overlap. Let's see something. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's acting weird right now. If I go boom, boom, utility, remove overlaps. Yeah, it cut this one out. Because if I look at it, now it's, the overlap is removed. But what the problem is, it's right on the edge. Alright, so it works. I'm just doing it wrong. So if I click this and then click this, but I have to have the selection tool selected. Click here, then click here, here, utility, remove overlap. But anyway, you guys got to play around with this stuff. You guys got to play around with this stuff and figure out how exactly to get it to work, or just do it the long way like I told you. Like, you know, I'm not a master digitizer, guys. I'm just showing you guys some basic techniques. I'm still learning, so understand that the stuff that I do, if I digitize something for you, all this stuff is going to be done already, so you won't have to do it. You won't have to worry about any of this stuff. But this is the best way to do it right here, because you guys can see with this one, it kind of, it's like right on the edge. And I told you guys, you don't want that because it can create a gap. So what I would recommend that you guys do is zoom into it and bring all these in a little bit, so the overlap is not completely removed, because you kind of want it to overlap a little bit so that it doesn't leave a gap when you're embroidering. Alright, so, and you can get rid of some of these points by just clicking on them and deleting them. So it's not so complicated. Alright, so bring them in like that, and after you bring them all in and you got your whole design, then you got your whole thing like that. After you've removed all the overlaps, come over here, save as. The RDE is the format that's native to the actual embroidery software. You want to save it as a .pes for the brother SE600. Alright, save it to desktop, or you want to save it as a .dst for the commercial embroidery machines, and you just come in here and change it, the name of it, to flower, for example, flower.dst or flower.pes, and let's save it to the desktop so you guys can check it out. And flower.pes, there's your PES file that you put on your flash drive and put it onto the computer. All right, The sun has just came out viciously, guys. Just the camera a little bit. I hope that video helped, guys. I hope you guys got a good understanding of digitizing and stuff like that. Chroma Luxe, if you're interested in the software, use my Ricoma affiliate link down in the description below to purchase or inquire about purchasing your version of Chroma Luxe. They have 3 tiers. They have Chroma Inspire, Chroma Plus, and Chroma Luxe, which is the one I use. I'd advise once you get Chroma Inspire, don't get Chroma Plus, just skip straight up to Chroma Luxe if you want to take Digitize this thing seriously. If you want to have all the tools and functionality that I use, other than that, stick to Chroma Inspire. Basic functionality, you should still be able to do what I did, minus some of the more advanced features, like when I clicked and brought up all the dots. I'm not sure if Chroma Inspire does that, but Chroma Luxe definitely does. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys a little bit of digitizing, and so you guys could kind of understand the intricacies of it and why it's something that takes time, and just so people can respect it a little more, because I think a lot of people think that you just click, press digitize, and do like auto digitizing, and that is not the way to get real good quality designs. You have to manually digitize it if you want things to turn out really good, really crisp, the way you want. All right, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked it. My birthday's tomorrow. Time for me to get out of here and have some fun. Headed to the beach. Yeah, St. John's, man, it's awesome out here. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.
Turn up that, crank it up. Why listen to the rest when you're rocking with the best, baby?